What's going on? Brian here. Thank you so much for your support, Derek. It means the world to me, and I think it's amazing that you are doing YouTube videos as well. Keep it going. Make sure to subscribe to Derek Reptile channel. Go show that some love and all that type of stuff because we need good content out there.
Welcome back to the channel, you guys. Today we're in the reptile room and we're talking about leopard geckos. If you're watching this video, hopefully you just bought your first leopard gecko. Leopard geckos are an insanely fun animal to keep. Easy to keep, not hard to keep, but they do need certain items to be happy in their enclosure. First off, I recommend starting them off in a 20-gallon tank. 20 gallon. Can you get bigger? Yes, but don't go smaller. Secondly, they're reptiles. They're just like snakes. What do I mean? They can't regulate their body temperature. So they're going to need a hot hideout, which if you look right there, you can see my leopard gecko. His name is Negan. Then they're going to need what's called a cold hideout. And that's my brown cave right there. They're also going to need what's called a humid hideout. Now, what's a humid hideout? Easy. You go to the dollar store. You buy what's called like a little plastic tin, you cut a hole in it. Now the humid hideout is so important because leopard geckos come from very dry places. They don't do good in humidity. They hate it. They just don't do good. Too high of humidity will cause the leopard gecko to get a respiratory infection. So you need a humid hide. You buy a plastic container, you cut a hole in it, you put a little washcloth or something in it, and you spray it down. Very easy to make, very easy to do. It's important to have a humid hide because the humid hide is going to aid your leopard gecko in shedding. So it's just trust me, it's very important. Next, you're going to want substrate. Every leopard gecko owner is different. Some leopard gecko owners like loose substrate. I don't recommend it. Leopard geckos are prone to impaction. Now, what is that? That means when they're eating their crickets, when they're eating their worms, if you have loose substrate like sand, aspen, and it gets on those crickets and that leopard gecko ingests it or eats it, they could get bound up, impacted. Their body could just become full of loose substrate to where they can't have a bowel movement and they eventually die from it. So I don't do loose substrates. I like to buy the carpet at PetSmart. They're okay, but you have to change them. And I've been thinking about putting my leopard gecko on paper towel, but right now that's what he's using. Next off, what you're going to need in your enclosure is calcium. A lot of reptile owners are different. Some leopard gecko owners will dip their crickets in calcium and put them in there, and that's fine to do. But I've noticed my leopard gecko, he's pretty good at walking around, and once he knows that he has calcium in his tank, he just eats it. You're gonna need a water bowl and a temperature gauge. Now here's another tip. When you feed them, switch up their food. What do I mean? Some leopard gecko owners just do mealworms every day. Don't do that. Don't do that. Do you eat tacos every day? I mean, I probably could, but I don't recommend it. Don't do mealworms every day. Switch it up. Do superworms one day. That's like a tree form. Do mealworms one day. Do crickets one day. Kind of see. Now, my leopard gecko won't always take crickets, but sometimes I try it just to see if he'll take it. So that's super important. Crickets, leopard mealworms, superworms, switching up their food is super important. Next is just handle them every now and then. Sometimes they want to get out of their tank and do what's called surfing. And what that means is they'll stand against the glass and just put their body on it. Get them out, handle them. Handle them, just, get them used to you. And last but not least, talk to your leopard gecko. They can hear, and they are very smart creatures. Talk to them. Talk to them. Hold on, real quick. I know I'm doing a good job. I'm teaching y'all about leopard geckos. Somebody hit those applause. Before we go, if you're new to the channel, I'll kind of show you a little bit about my reptile room. Just kind of, here's my setup. Of course, I got the vision cages like Tyler Nolan. He's my idol. But here's my leopard gecko cage. Very easy setup. I've been thinking about putting some more leaves in there, but just the certain things that he need, and he's been eating and he's happy. Like I said, hot hideout, calcium, humid hideout that I spray every day to help him with shedding, cool hideout, water, and of course the heat lamp. Oh, you're gonna need a heat mat too. I typically keep him around 85 to 88 on the hot side, and on the cool side a little cooler. But that's pretty much my tank, And of course, we got a new addition to the reptile room, but we'll talk about him later. If you're watching this, I appreciate it. Hit that like button, subscribe. I appreciate you so much. Just a young dude out here chasing his dream, man.